Cool off a little bit as the Cubs tried to avoid a winless homestand. They've dropped the first 4-2 against the Phillies. And as Pat mentioned, the White Sox winning the first two of this series. Wind blowing out, that's the big story. So these two pitchers will have to use their sinkers today and probably have to work the inside part of the plate as well. And for more on this matchup and some comments from Dale Swain, let's send it back down to the field. Luke Stuckmeyer's with us. Hey, Luke.
Hey, Len, talk about Alfonso Soriano. He's had 3 home runs in 4 games, seems to be getting on one of his hot streaks. He'll love the conditions at the ballpark today, but the Cubs, the rest of the offense, needs to pick it up and find a way to get some runs on the board. Dale Swain mentioned, being patient at the plate against Jake Peavy and just getting runners on board. That's a key.
You're always trying to get on base percentage. You got to get guys on base, and then obviously have the guys that can hit the ball of the ballpark and sustain innings. You got to keep the line moving somehow, and you do that through walks and pitch selection as much as anything. Great hitters are great hitters because they get a good pitch that they can hit out of the ballpark, and they take everything else, and they battle with 2 strikes. So that's something that we have to build on and get much better at to get to the 6th inning, get guys to 100 pitches and the 6th inning type thing, to where there's always adjustments going to have to be made on the other side with the bullpen and the manager making decisions. Not many decisions made when guys are going 60 pitches after 5 innings and 6 innings. That guy can go, and then bam, you're right into the best part of their bullpen all the time. Our offense has to step up. There's no getting around it. We have to step up to get 3-run innings, multiple crooked numbers all the time, as much as you possibly can. It's just too difficult to not do anything off starting pitchers and think you're going to do stuff off back into bullpens.
So the Cubs looking for a little excitement from their offense today, and there's always some drama during the Crosstown Cup. Of course, this is the 6-year anniversary of the Barrett-Perzinski brawl. We'll see what kind of drama we get from the Cubs and White Sox today at Wrigley Field. Down on the field, I'm Luke Stuckmeyer. We'll send it back up to Len Kasper.
All right, Luke, thanks. All of a sudden it's July here at the ballpark. Very warm temperatures, and again, the wind blowing out. Let's get you the starting pitchers as we go to break, and we'll talk about Kerry Wood coming up. Paul Maholm has won his last 4 consecutive decisions, trying to win 5 straight for the first time in his career. Jake Peavy, the former San Diego Padre, very familiar with the Cubs. 7 quality starts this year, the most in the American League. We are getting set for the White Sox and Cubs from the friendly confines. Coming up. in 2012. I think my partner has some advice for the groom a little bit later on. Well, what a weekend for Kerry Wood. On Friday, rumors circulated before the game that he was going to announce his retirement after his next appearance. It ended up being in Game 1. Entered the game late with the Cubs down a run facing Diane Viciedo. Gets him on the patented Kerry Wood curveball for strike 3. Jamie Quirk comes out to get him. And so does his son Justin with the big hug as Kerry walks into the dugout. The curtain call from the fans acknowledging their appreciation for his wonderful career as a Chicago Cub. Yesterday, in a more formal setting, Kerry got dressed up. And the entire Wood family, Kerry and his wife Sarah and their kids, and all of Kerry's teammates, getting a nice framed shot of the hug from Laura Ricketts, a member of the Cubs board, and Kerry talking about the future of this organization, the fact that he isn't going anywhere.
There's great things going on here on the north side, and I was very blessed to be a part of it for 14 years. I'm going to continue to watch. I'm going to continue to be a part of it. You guys come out and support these guys. There's good things happening here on the north side. So I was always a Cub. I've always been a Cub, and I'll always continue to be a Cub. So thank you very much.
And an emotional Kerry Wood announcing his official retirement after 14 years in the big leagues. Paul Maholm for the Cubs, Jake Peavy for the White Sox. We'll get you going here right after this on Comcast Sportsnet.
Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group. North, South, Blue, Black. Storied tradition, recent achievement. Two teams, one city, and only one winner. The quest for the BP Cup continues. Next on CSN.
It's Northside, Southside, take 3. We are live from Wrigley Field on a scorcher today for Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. The Cubs try to avoid a series sweep and a winless homestand as they welcome the Chicago White Sox into Wrigley Field. And hi again, everyone, along with Bob Brenly. I'm Len Casper. Unfortunately, Bob, your old position, catcher, has been a major problem for the Cubs. I don't know if I've been around a team that's had their top 3 catchers all injured.
Especially in such a short period of time. It's not unusual for a catcher to suffer injuries, but this stretch of trouble we've had behind the plate is just unprecedented. I've never seen anything like it in all my years of baseball.
And Coy Hill and Blake Lally currently making up the Cubs backstop core. I'll tell you right now, the White Sox are just hitting too many home runs, and with the wind blowing out, the Cubs probably need to match them today.
It's going to be a hitter's day today, you would assume, going in because of the wind. Both pitchers rely heavily on sinking fastballs down in the zone, and you're going to have to keep them down today, or the ball's going to end up out on Sheffield and on Addison.
Paul Konerko not in the lineup again today, but Dayan Viciedo is, so it's not like the Cubs benefit from their best hitter being out. You've got several hot hitters in the White Sox lineup going into action today. They try to get back to 500. Adam Dunn last night, a homer and 4 walks.
He's not the Adam Dunn that White Sox fans saw last year. This is the guy that we saw in the National League as a member of the Cincinnati Reds. He is a one-man wrecking crew when he's hot.
Paul Mahalam for the Cubs, Jake Peavy for the White Sox. Let's go down to the field. It's Sunday, so God Bless America, followed by our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise, kindly remove your caps, and join Wayne Messmer, accompanied by Gary Pressey at the Lowry organ, as they honor America with God Bless America, followed by our national anthem.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home,
area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, 75 years being right here in Illinois means no one's closer to your wellness. Experience wellness everywhere. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy? Toyota. Right now you can get a lot for less at your local Toyota dealer. Official partner of the Chicago Cubs. The new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. BMO Harris Bank. Helping money make sense. BMO Harris Bank. NA member FDIC. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Welcome back to steamy Wrigley Field. It's a hot one today. We went from mid-May to August 1st in a matter of a couple of days.
Yeah, March-like weather here today.
Now the White Sox Southwest starting lineup written out by first-year manager Robin Ventura. Alejandro De Aza leads it off. Gordon Beckham with the game-winning homer on Friday. Adam Dunn, huge game last night. Dayan Viciedo, big series. Alexei Ramirez is at short. Former Cub Kosuke Fukudome, Tyler Flowers, and Brent Lillibridge all getting starts with Jake Peavy on the mound.
Take a look at the Cubs defensively this afternoon. Soriano, Campana, De Jesus left to right across the outfield. Stewart and Castro on the left side of the infield. Adrian Cardenas getting a start at second base. Brian LaHare over at first. Coy Hill behind the plate today for left-hander Paul Mahalam. Paul had 4 consecutive starts where he was just about as good as he could possibly be, coming off a no decision against the Cardinals. Went 6 innings, gave up 7 hits and 4 runs in that ball game. Needless to say, for both starting pitchers and anybody that trots in from that bullpen today, you must keep the ball down and you must pitch inside with the wind howling straight out here at Wrigley.
Interesting. Eric Cooper is behind the plate in his 14th year. He's from Iowa. He has been the home plate umpire for 3 no-hitters, including both by Mark Burley, including his perfect game. Hideo Nomo with Boston as well back in 2001. The conditions don't seem very fruitful for a no-hitter today, but we'll see. Here's De Aza to lead it off, and he takes a strike at the knees on a fastball from Paul Mahalam.
I've told the story many times in the past about Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire. He triggered me from a ball game one time when I suggested that his strike zone was as big as the world.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Curveball strike. Mahalam listed at 6'2", 220 pounds. First year with the Cubs, 29 years old. Facing the White Sox for the 3rd time in his career. Other 2 matchups came as a member of the Pirates, both at PNC Park back in 06 and 07. So it's been a while. On a hop to Castro. 1 away.
I mentioned that string of starts for Paul Mahalam. Going back to April 21st against the Cincinnati Reds, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. Followed by a start against the Phillies, 6 1/3, 5 hits, 1 run. Against the Dodgers, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. And then the start before the Cardinals start against Atlanta, 7 innings, 3 hits, a shutout baseball. Just stellar command of all of his pitches, moved him around the strike zone, up, down, in, out. Changed speeds extremely well.
1 strike on Friday's White Sox hero, Gordon Beckham. He had a game-winning home run and 1 tackle.
I saw David DeJesus after Friday's game, and I told him, if you want to hit a double, you need a lead blocker, a pulling guard out in front.
1-1 on the way. Bounced foul. Well, we said it's hot, and we were not kidding. And it's not only 91, but the wind blowing out of the southwest, which means straight out to center at 12 miles an hour. It's only the second time officially this season the wind has blown out to start the game. And while Coy Hill had caught Ryan Dempster a lot in his career before he re-signed with the Cubs before the game yesterday, because he was in spring training with the Cardinals, this is the first time he's ever caught Paul Maholm. Side session, spring training game, regular season games, first time ever. Castro again will get the out. 2 up, 2 down, and I like those ground ball outs on a day like this.
Absolutely. Yeah, getting back to your point about Coy Hill catching Maholm for the first time, the good news is Paul Maholm's not the kind of pitcher that has electric stuff. He's got a good sinking, tailing fastball. He'll cut it occasionally. Good changeup, good breaking ball, but none of them are pitches that Coy should have any trouble receiving behind the plate. It's more a question of getting up to speed quickly on how Paul likes to go about setting up hitters. What does he like to throw in 0-2 counts? If he has to throw his fastball, what part of the plate does he want to throw it to? And those things should probably come rather quickly.
Dunn had 5 plate appearances last night. He walked in 4 of them and hit a home run. However, he's 3 for 28 going back to his days as a Red against Maholm, who's had his number. The Cubs have only 2 infielders with their feet actually on the dirt at the moment. That's Ian Stewart, who's playing short, and Brian LaHare hugging that line at first. That's a strike, 1-2.
Yeah, it's one thing to shift your defense because you expect a batter to hit it in that direction, but when that hitter doesn't have good running speed, you can play deep. You can play your shift and back up 15 or 20 feet, which is what the Cubs are doing here to Dunn.
Slider missed outside, and it's 2-2 with the dangerous Dayan Viciedo on deck.
Just off that plate away, which is another thing that's going to be important for both pitchers today. If you're going to miss the zone, miss in your favor. Don't leave anything over the heart of the plate.
Outside on a heater, 3-2. This is a guy he wants. That guy didn't think he was going to play a whole lot in this series. And then Paul Konerko got hurt. Viciedo's been in there since. Had a big night last night. Foul tip, strike 3. So Dunn makes an out for the first time in a couple of days. Maholm goes 1-2-3, and the Cubs will go to work on Jake Peavy when we come back. Has doubled the lead off each of the last 3 games in which he started. Campana, Castro, LaHare, and Soriano in the middle. Ian Stewart hitting 6th. Adrian Cardenas at 2nd, batting 7th. And the battery today, Hill and Mahalem.
Here's how the Sox will line it up defensively. Viciedo in left, Diaza in center, Fukudome over in right field, Lillibridge, Ramirez, Beckham, and Dunn across the infield. Tyler Flowers behind the plate for A.J. Pierzynski today, and he'll be receiving pitches from the April American League Pitcher of the Month, right-hander Jake Peavy.
To an excellent start this year. He's got all the pitches. And very familiar with the Cubs. He's 2-0 with a 2.12 road ERA. The White Sox, interestingly enough, are 7-12 at home, but 13-9 on the road. DeJesus looking for his first career hit off Peavy, and it's 2-0. He's 0 for 11. Bob, when Peavy is at his best, what does he feature?
A good sinking fastball. If he can keep it down, get some ground balls, although he will elevate a four-seam fastball at 92, 93 up across the top of the zone as a real good straight changeup. It really just depends on what he's feeling out there on the mound on a given day. Some days you'll see a lot of breaking pitches. Other games he won't throw any. But if he's got a good feel for the fastball both down and high up in the zone and that straight changeup, that's when he's usually at his best.
He'll turn 32 on the final day of this month. And the 3-1 by DeJesus is fouled off into the upper deck. Third base side, 3-2.
8 previous starts for Peavy, 7 of them quality starts. Last time out, he was cruising against the Tigers, gave up a 2-run home run to Miguel Cabrera, and the wheels just completely came off for him. Gave up another 2-run homer in the inning, and before he knew it, he was out of the ballgame.
And he strikes out DeJesus. He led the majors in Ks in 2007, led the NL in 05 in punch-outs.
On Nissan pitch tracks, you see him leading David DeJesus right out of the strike zone. That elevated fastball off the outside corner. Can't criticize David because he's one of the Cubs hitters that usually sees a lot of pitches every time he steps in that batter's box. But it would behoove the Cubs hitters to try to work some counts, run up a pitch count on Peavy, and hopefully get him out of there early.
Yeah, Dale Swaim has pounded home the idea of this offense having to put up some crooked numbers, particularly against the other team's starting pitcher. Because if you don't, you end up facing their best relievers late. And the Cubs lately have stormed back in the ninth to make it interesting, but haven't come all the way back on this homestand. The 1-1 to Campana. He's on the outside, 1-2. Peavy's had some injury problems the last several years. This time in 08 with San Diego with an elbow. The ankle injury in 09. Was traded that year to the White Sox. Lat surgery in 2010. 2 DL stints last year. But Bob, you kind of get the impression based on Peavy's personality that he's just going to go all out until his arm falls off and then he'll walk away.
Go till it blows. Yeah, one of these days he's going to let a pitch go and his arm is going to hit the backstop, and that's when he'll know he's had enough.
I think I'd really like to see that myself.
No, me neither, but you get the point. That's the kind of competitor he is. That's the way he feels. You get to a certain point in your career where you know it's not going to feel good. You've had the surgeries, you've done the rehab, and you still have some crankiness either in your elbow or your shoulder or your back. And you get to a point where you realize it's not going to go away.
It'll be caught by Viciedo. Two down.
A little bit of a late jump. I think all the outfielders are going to err on the side of caution today with that wind blowing out. Viciedo held his ground momentarily and then realized that ball was going to die in front of him. Comes in and makes a nice running catch. Now, this is the kind of day you may see some cheap hits drop in front of the outfielders because where they're playing. I mean, Diaz in center field is about as deep as we've seen any center fielder play at Wrigley. He's only a few steps from the warning track in front of the 400 mark.
Cubs 3 and 4 hitters, Castro and LaHair, have combined to go just 2 for 28 on this homestand. And with that in mind, not terribly surprising the team hasn't had much success. They have carried a heavy load this year. The other thing about Jake Peavy, he'll probably pick it up on our crowd microphones today. He'll grunt like Nolan Ryan used to, as Castro went around on that nasty breaking ball, and that'll end the inning. So each team goes down in order in the first. Jones Representative Jackson Vandiver presented the Edward Jones Player of the Month award to Tony Campana for his outstanding play in the month of April. Edward Jones making sense of investing. Here is Viciedo. 2 for 5 last night with a homer and 3 knocked in. Paul Konerko still day to day. He's got some swelling near that left eye. And the White Sox are hoping he'll be back to start that Twins series, but he may not. And they have a day off tomorrow, so by Tuesday, hopefully that swelling has gone down and Konerko's back in the lineup.
Don't throw him another strike. This guy loves to swing at the thrown ball. 3 walks all season long. He's a hacker. You do not have to throw him anything close to the strike zone to get him out. He will go down in history as the final punch out victim of Kerry Wood. On a pitch in the dirt, by the way.
Yeah, and we'll have more on that particular pitch a little later, as there's more to the story.
Yeah.
And unfortunately indicative of the way it's gone on his homestand. Inside, 2-2. Ramirez and Fukudome to follow. He bounced it up there. It's a full count, 3-2.
Throw that same pitch again. I don't think he can lay off of it twice in a row.
Pitch caught a lot of the strike zone and a rollover bouncer to Castro. Well, Kerry Wood's final big league pitch actually knocked Wellington Castillo out of the lineup for 4 to 7 days. Right there, his right knee tweaked it and actually suffered a mild sprain of his MCL.
Yeah, he said he just felt like the upper part of his leg stayed put while the bottom half moved, and he felt it right away. Fortunately, of course, it's not my knee, but a minor sprain of the MCL. Hopefully he won't be out long.
Coors Light freeze cam feels good on a 91-degree day. Foul strike to Ramirez, the shortstop. Couple of hits last night for Alexei. Knocked in a run. Ramirez is up toward the front part of the box, and he still was very early on this 69-mile-an-hour curveball. 0-2.
That's one of the things you go over in your advanced meeting of the opposing hitter. Some guys you're better off throwing hard breaking pitches, the hard slider or cutter, a hard splitter. Some hitters are more susceptible to the slower breaking pitches and the straight changeup.
Right on top of the plate. And he takes that one low and inside. It's 2-2. Swing and a miss. 2 down.
And apparently Ramirez is more susceptible to the slower breaking pitches. Comes right back with the big curveball. Took a lot off of it once again at 70 miles an hour on our Nissan pitch tracks. That one right at the bottom of the zone, and you can clearly see Ramirez way out in front.
Now former Cub Kosuke Fukudome getting a rare start in right. And he hits a high one bouncer. Mahalam spins, throws, and it gets away. And Kosuke will head towards second. And Cardenas can't get anything on the throw. So a single for Fukudome and an error on Mahalam. The Cubs have had trouble throwing to first base.
I think Mahalam may have hurried a little bit more than he needed to. He got to the ball in pretty good shape. Still had enough time, in my estimation, to make a better throw than that, but he reaches into that glove and then spikes it in the dirt behind the runner, Fukudome. No chance for Brian LaHare to get across the baseline and stop that throw, and it rolls down the right field line.
So Fukudome is the first base runner today, and now it's the backup catcher Tyler Flowers. Making his 9th start back of the plate. And good to see Kosuke back in Chicago. Cubs traded him to Cleveland mid-season last year and signed with the White Sox in the offseason. Tell you what, Bobby, he had a good career as a Cub. His career was, I guess, marked by the fact that he made a lot of money. And so he didn't really live up to that contract per se. And his Cardenas will range out into shallow right. But Kosuke did have a good approach at the plate. A career on base percentage of .359. We go to the bottom of the second. Still nothing.
Wade Park. Tune in as Matt Garza takes the mound against El Caballo, Carlos Lee and the Astros. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Subaru Cubs pregame live. Cubs Astros tomorrow night at 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Astros playing a rubber match today against their in-state rivals, the Rangers. They'll be in the same division starting next year. Brian LaHare without a hit on the homestand. 0 for 14 with a walk and a run, and he'll lead off the Cubs second against Jake Peavy. Talk often, Bob, about where a pitcher starts his delivery in terms of his feet. Peavy starts on the far first base side of the rubber, but he doesn't land on the first base side of the mound. He kind of lands in the middle. He's almost stepping toward the right-handed batter's box.
A little bit of a crossfire where his left foot comes down.
There's a base hit. LaHare on the board. Cubs first base runner against Peavy.
Brian LaHare's been scuffling a little bit lately. Talking to Rudy Jaramillo, the Cubs hitting coach, before the ball game, said he's just in between. And usually when a guy's in between, the best advice you can give him is get back on the fastball. If you're ready to react and hit the guy's fastest pitch, you can usually make an adjustment to everything else. But he had seen so many slow breaking pitches lately. He got off the fastball. Now he's late on heaters. He's out in front of breaking pitches. Good to see him get that knock through the right side.
Now Soriano didn't homer in his first 30 games this season, but now he's hit 3 over his last 5. 3-hit night last night. Cubs scored 4 in the 9th. 2-run homers from Soriano and Mather. He came up short.
The home run last night for Soriano came on a strike breaking ball. It appeared to be a slider down low in the zone. Caught it out in front of home plate. We know he's a good low ball hitter, and we also know that if you throw off-speed pitches in the strike zone, he handles those extremely well.
Two from Peavy is popped foul and out of play. Hot Sunday afternoon here in Chicago. Game 3 of 6 between these two clubs this year. White Sox trying to engineer their first sweep here on the north side since 1999. They've had the Cubs number here lately. They've won 17 of the last 23 against the Cubs. Another 1-2. Can't put him away. Soriano hanging in there. Peavy was born in Mobile, Alabama, same hometown as Hank Aaron, although Peavy says his number 44 jersey is a coincidence. Grew up in nearby Sims, Alabama. Good block by Flowers. 2-2. LaHare the runner at first, nobody out here in the second. 3-2.
You know, Len, I mentioned and Bisaedo, you don't have to throw him strikes to get him out. Look how Jake Peavy has attacked Alfonso Soriano in this at bat. Only one pitch in our Nissan pitch tracks is in the strike zone. Sinkers off the plate, low and in. Breaking balls off the plate, low and away. And that last fastball that was buzzing the tower.
The hair takes off, and Fonzie fouls that one back. A high fastball at 93. Already a 9-pitch at bat. Broken bat, little dribbler, and Peavy only has one play as LaHair was on the move. The barrel ended up directly behind home plate all the way to the backstop.
I think if Soriano doesn't hit this pitch, it's going to hit him. That's how far inside that ball was. Ball was headed for his rib cage until he cleared his hips and swung at it, breaking his bat. Fortunately, Sox only get the out at first base.
Brings up Ian Stewart. Had the night off last night against the lefty John Danks. One for 3 with a walk and a run on Friday. Do you hear Peavy?
Oh, yeah.
I can hear him.
I've heard Peavy down at field level before. It's even louder.
Been known to get a little animated out there, yelling at himself between pitches. Shots of him having an animated discussion with A.J. Przinsky on Friday in the dugout. Jimmy Connors of Major League Baseball.
I was just thinking, man, you just hope baseball doesn't get to the point of ladies tennis. Ugh. Talk about a sport you want to watch on mute. That's it. Nothing against the announcers. It's all about the players.
I like the double. Every shot. Bounce back to Peavy. They got LaHair caught up in a pickle. Lillibridge tags him on the belt.
That's always a tough play for a base runner at second. You're so programmed, anything hit to my left, I'm going to advance. But then the chopper back to the mound is the wild card. You see that ball was hit to his left, but Peavy's able to make the play and turns it into an easy out. In the rundown, one throw.
Certainly would like to have seen Bryant stay in that rundown long enough to allow Stewart to replace him, but just wasn't in the cards. Adrian Cardenas getting his third start in the big leagues, second at second. He's made one start and left as well. 1 ball, no strikes.
And you hope the idea of a start for Adrian Cardenas will allow him to be a little more patient at the plate. A lot of his appearances have been off the bench as a pinch hitter, late inning double switch guy that gets an at bat, and he has been hyper aggressive, swinging at the first or second pitch nearly every at bat. Yeah, hopefully he can settle in a little bit here today, see some pitches from Jake Peavy, and do some damage.
Seven years in the minor leagues, career .303 hitter, .368 on base average. Little slight home run power, not a ton. .31 homers over those 7 seasons.
He has home run power today.
Pretty much everybody does today.
Yeah, everybody in cleats has home run power today.
Ground ball, backhanded by Beckham to flip to Ramirez in time to get Stewart, and that ends the inning. Cubs waste a leadoff single. No score at the end of 2 from Wrigley Field. The ballpark. The new Veen Investment Suites can accommodate anywhere from 15 to 55 guests and include food, beverage, and parking. To book your premier experience at the ballpark, visit Cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-4200. Strike on Brent Lillibridge. Defensively very versatile, playing third today, and he got jammed and popped it up, and Mahalam got off the mound quickly to make the catch.
That's the kind of swing and pop up. When you get back to your own dugout, the guys are going to say, geez, I thought the wind was blowing out today. I thought it was going to carry a lot better than that. He got jammed badly here by a Mahalam cutter right in at the belt. Hits it about 2 inches above his hands and pops it about 60 feet out into the infield. Thought the ball was carrying today.
Speaking of third base, Brent Morrell has not appeared in this series, still day to day with back issues. As Peavy takes a strike. Looks like the White Sox are bringing veteran switch hitter Orlando Hudson into the mix. Recently released by the San Diego Padres. Well, he hasn't played third. He's a second baseman, but usually the thought is if he can play the middle infield spots, he can play third. And as Peavy strikes out. Two quick ones, and now De Aza grounded out to start the game. Curve at 73 for a strike. Holland was born in Greenwood, Mississippi. Spent his entire pro career in the Pirates chain prior to signing with the Cubs over the winter. Go back to 1987. There are only 5 left-handers who've had a higher ground ball percentage than Paul Maholm. I know you remember Zane Smith.
Sure.
Bruce Ruffin, Mike Hampton, Mark Mulder, Jim Abbott. That's it among lefties. Maholm's ground ball percentage over 65% in his career. Two and two the count. Zane Smith had a ground ball percentage of almost 70%. Swing and a miss to end the inning. 4 strikeouts in the first 3 for Maholm, who looks sharp today. No score. Infinity high-speed action. It was 6 years ago today. Down on the south side, Michael Barrett run into by A.J. Przinsky. And Michael slugged him in the side of the head, and it was on. I think he thought Brzezinski was running into him on purpose after the collision. It didn't appear after watching a replay that it really was on purpose. But one of those very intense moments in this all-time series. Peavy with a nice stretch as he flags it down and throws out Coy Hill. Well, you and I have complimented AJ on his smarts on the baseball diamond, and certainly there are times, many times, when he gets under the skin of the opposing team, and you don't ever want to see anybody get really hurt, but that shot didn't seem to bother him at all.
No, it didn't. And that's what he was saying to the fans as he got back to his own dugout on the third base side. He smacked himself in the mouth. No big deal.
Would you say he's literally hard-headed?
Well, we've talked a lot about advanced metrics this year. Opopic. OP, OP, IP. Opponents pissed off per inning played. AJ is the all-time leader in that category in Major League Baseball.
Nice.
You can try to find it on the internet, but I don't think they've officially.
You've just created.
Yeah,
it.
I've just created that one. Opopic.
I will just use the acronym from now on. I'm not going to actually spell it all out. 2-2 to Mahalam. That is a fair ball right in front of home plate. That's out number 2. And there it is. The unwritten rule book.
And like we mentioned on Friday, the CD is available also. It's 60 minutes of silence. Make up your own rules. That's why they're unwritten. And I think part of what upsets so many opposing players about AJ is the fact that he's usually right. I mentioned it on Friday. He knows the rule book. He knows the game. He has schmoozed umpires his entire career. And more often than not, when there's a controversial play and he's in the middle of it, people get upset because he's right.
One and one to DeJesus. Snapped a string of leadoff hits in the first inning. Had 4, and as I mentioned earlier, had led off 3 consecutive Cubs first innings with doubles. Swings and misses, and that'll end the inning. 3 strikeouts for Peavy. Both pitchers have been down in the zone early and have both been very good.
Los Locos Tacos from Taco Bell.
Top of the fourth. Beckham, Dunn, and Viciedo against Paul Mahalem. Looking for his 5th consecutive win. That would be a new career high. And Beckham shoots that ball to deep left. Gone. Out onto Waveland, just inside the foul pole. I think Gordon Beckham is going to petition the league to play all of his games against the Cubs.
Well, especially if the Cubs pitching staff continues to throw him off-speed pitches on the inside part of the plate. Just speeds up his bat. A long, loopy swing that Beckham features is right on time for a changeup that hangs over the inside part of the plate, and he does not miss it.
Even with a homer, he's 6 for his last 33, but 2 big home runs in this series. He's been hitting .356 lifetime against the Cubs, and now has hit in 10 straight. Here's Adam Dunn, who struck out his first time. Didn't see a lot of Dunn last year, but when we talk about passive hitters and aggressive hitters, you talked about Brian LaHare the other day, that he's not a passive hitter. He's looking to attack a pitch, but he waits for his pitch. And maybe at times Dunn got a little too passive last year. It seems like, Bob, he's aggressive this time around, even though he, again, will not go far out of his strike zone.
Well, he knows his zone as well as any hitter in the game. I just think there were a lot of times last season and maybe in years before where, whether he was anticipating pitchers not throwing him strikes or for whatever reason, he took a lot of very hittable pitches.
Two and two the count. High drive, deep left center, and the wind's going to carry that baby out too. He almost hit it onto Waveland. 43rd career homer against the Cubs. And they go back to back. This is 27th here at Wrigley.
And if you're a manager or a pitching coach, this is why you want Adam Dunn to swing the bat. I mean, he hit that ball really well, but big and strong as he is, he can mishit balls and hit them out of most stadiums.
"14 homers for Dunn. Last year he hit 11 the entire year. Viciedo with 7 homers this season takes a strike. Cardenas out, Campana in, battling the sun, and makes a catch.
Know a newborn Cubs fan? The Newborn Fan Club is the perfect gift to showcase what it means to be a Cub for life. Receive a customized photo announcing the birth on the Wrigley Field marquee, a Cubs birth certificate, a Cubs baby stocking cap, and a Cubs Rookie of the Year onesie. Perfect for parents and friends alike, so visit Cubs.com for more information and sign up today.
Hitting home runs is not something that's unfamiliar to this White Sox team. They have not connected a major league best 970 times at, or rather 968 times at home since 2004. And this place has been very homer friendly to them this weekend as well. They play in a bandbox on the south side. Ramirez held 1-2. Toward the end, Bob, it got a little bit more public, but Ozzie always wanted to play more of a small ball type offensive game. Even when he had guys like Jim Thome and Paul Konerko and Adam Dunn last year called strike 3 on Ramirez. Sneak in our AT&T Mobility trivia question. Cubs Sox weekend. And can you name the 6 broadcasters who've called television for both teams? The answer coming up. Two and 0 on Fukudome. Three and 0 with Flowers on deck.
And you were talking about Kosuke's time here with the Cubs earlier, and because of the big contract, I think a lot of people expected a lot more, especially in the power game. And also, didn't he hit the game-winning home run in his very first start as a member of the Cubs?
It was a game-tying
home run. Okay.
Bottom of the ninth, off Eric Gagne of the Milwaukee Brewers. Yep.
Yeah, I really don't think that was ever Kosuke's game. He's an on-base percentage guy. He was always a very good base runner. Not a fast base runner, but a good base runner. Knew when to take the extra 90 feet and when not to try. I thought he was an exceptional right fielder, especially playing here at Wrigley with all the challenges that presents. But he just wasn't the guy I think a lot of fans thought he was going to be. The home run hitter, the middle of the lineup run producer. For me, he was more of a top of the order table setter kind of a guy.
Actually, his skill set is pretty close to what David DeJesus is. Hill's got to hurry. Nice play by Coy Hill in his second game back with the Cubs. But the White Sox keep hitting homers back to back to start the inning, and it's 2-0.
Surface here at Wrigley Field, taking out all those bad hops.
Cubs trail 2-0. The speedy Tony Campana will lead off the home half of the fourth. In front of Castro and LaHare. Cornermen are in for the White Sox. By the way, that home run for Adam Dunn off a lefty is significant. It's his third this year. He did not homer all year off a lefty last year.
Not only are the corner infielders drawn in, but the middle infielders as well, playing in front of double play depth with nobody on base.
Campana cracked his bat as he popped out weakly to Ramirez for the out. We'll send out happy belated birthday wishes to Nathan Wilson and Darren Wilson. Also, happy birthday to our good friend Joe Kwasny. A nice note from Charles Bloom from Skokie, Illinois. And, 80 years old. He's been listening and watching Cubs baseball for a long time. He said, "I've never heard or seen a major league outfielder drop an easy fly ball as the Phillies left fielder did Wednesday night." That was Juan Pierre. He asked if we had stats on how often it's happened to an outfielder. Well, it's happened twice on this homestand. I can tell you that. Alex Rios did it on Friday. It was a base hit for Castro. I mean, a ball hit right to you normally under conditions where the sun isn't bothering you. I mean, it's extremely rare for an outfielder, especially of Juan Pierre's caliber, to just drop it.
Which is why a lot of teams elect to have their base runners tag up on a fly ball to the outfield. The conventional wisdom was, you go halfway just in case he drops it. You might have a chance to advance not only to the next base, but maybe even go one more. But it happens so infrequently that several major league teams on fly balls to the outfield want their runners to tag all the time.
Tying run at the plate. A 1-0 count on LaHare, who singled in the second inning. Way outside. It's interesting. Peavy acts like he is totally angry with himself whenever he doesn't totally hit his spot. He is as intense as any starting pitcher in the big leagues.
Occasionally it can be a real fine line between intensity and insanity. You can drive yourself crazy if you put that kind of pressure on yourself to make every pitch be perfect. I don't know anybody that's that good.
For a while there with the Padres, he was that good. As he walks LaHare, he was a unanimous Cy Young Award winner in 2007. Cubs Destinations provides fans with the most unique behind-the-scenes VIP game experiences available. Each package includes great tickets, first-class hotel accommodations, a special Cubs gift bag, a tour of the ballpark, and a private meet and greet with a current Cubs player. For more info, visit Cubs.com. Two on for Alfonso Soriano, and he fouls back. Long battle. It went 3-2 in his first time up. He ended up grounding out on a broken bat dribbler to the pitcher. Chased a bad one out of the zone on a slider. 0-2. Bob, I know you had your eye on Zach Greinke today, trying to avoid the sweep against the Twins. The Brewers lead 8-1 in the bottom of the fourth. Jason Marquis could not get out of the second inning. Jonathan Lucroy with another big day. He has a homer And Soriano swings and misses for strike 3. Two down. Lucroy now hitting .342. Hitting cleanup today, in fact.
As manager Ron Renick told us last weekend that he thinks Jonathan Lucroy ultimately will take his place as one of the best catchers on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, in the National League.
Twins have the worst record in baseball, but they've won 4 in a row. That is in serious jeopardy today.
It's always interesting, Len. It seems like every year, especially in the National League, you'll see 2 or 3, sometimes 4 catchers among the league leaders in batting average early in the season, and you just know because of the wear and tear of the position that come All-Star break they'll maybe be out of the top 10, maybe out of the top 20, and by the end of the season they'll be right in the middle of the pack where they probably should be. But catchers get off to fast starts and then their bodies betray them. Jammed fingers, bruises on your knees and back issues, knee issues. It's tough to maintain that quality of at bat that you would like throughout the entire year.
Joe Mauer hitting .278 currently, but winning a couple of batting titles in the American League. When he won his first in '06, he was the first catcher to win the AL batting title. Previously, 2 had won in the National League, but none since 1942. So it's very rare. 3-2 on Stewart, and the runners will go. Castro from second. LaHare from first with 2 outs. Here's a pitch cued off the end of the bat toward the Cubs dugout. Base is loaded for Cardenas. 2 walks in the inning.
Great opportunity for a young man that doesn't get a lot of playing time to possibly knot this game up with a well-placed base hit.
Ball 1 to Cardenas. Our AT&T U-verse multi-view. Cubs have him loaded up with 2 outs. Cardenas 1 for 14 since coming up from the minors. Kick in the 2-1. Fouled off. It's 2-2. Adrian's parents are from Cuba. Both are now U.S. citizens. He's from Miami. Been playing piano since he was 3. He's taking correspondence courses at New York University. So a well-rounded guy off the field, but right now his focus is on Jake Peavy's next 2-2 pitch. Peavy has a sign from Flowers. They go inside here. Out over the plate. Popped up. And it's Ramirez to end the inning. Cubs leave them loaded. We go to the 5th. White Sox 2. Cubs nothing. Trivia question. Name the 6 broadcasters who called games for both the Cubs and the White Sox on television. Of course, Jack Brickhouse, going back to 1948, Harry Carey, Harry Creighton, Vince Lloyd, Lloyd Pettit, and Steve Stone. Tyler Flowers batting for the 2nd time today. Stoney working next door with Hawk. And stage manager Paula Ostroba getting a little camera time today. That's a strike, 0-2.
Well, and I almost hesitate to say it with the wind blowing out the way it is here at Wrigley Field today, but if there is such a thing as a breather inning for Paul Mulholland, this should be it. Tyler Flowers, a backup catcher, was hitting 167 coming into play today. Brent Lillibridge, a backup utility player, hitting 158, and then the pitcher spot. So if you ever hope to have one of those quick short pitch innings and get your team back in the dugout, this would appear to be it.
Here's his 1-2. And hit a ton to left. Launched onto Waveland. That ball was cranked. And it's 3-0. And it was on a 1-2 pitch.
So much for the breather inning. You still have to execute your pitches regardless of who the hitter at the plate is. Man, that is just a nothing fastball up and out over the plate where Flowers can get his arms extended. No doubt about that one. It's not unusual to see a left fielder not move, but rarely do you see the fans in the bleachers not move. That's how far that ball was hit.
3-0 on 3 home runs on the last 2 innings for the White Sox. That's the 7th career homer for Flowers. Lillibridge rolls to Castro. He's out. Qdoba is giving the first 20,000 fans the chance to win free food. If the Cubs get a base hit in the 5th inning, fans with a base hit for Burritos game card win a free entree. Pitch to Jake Peavy. That was a home run swing. Fouled it off. Reds finishing up 5 days in New York. I guess it's a rubber game for them in a couple of cases. Line and caught by Cardenas. So Peavy hit that ball hard, but for an out. They split a 2-gamer with the Mets. Rubber game today with the Yankees and leading 3-2 in the 7th. Actually now in the 8th. It's 3-2 Reds.
Slicing line drive just to Cardenas' left, able to run it down. Peavy looked like he wanted to break that bat over his knee, but decides to just put it under his arm and head on back to the dugout.
Ludwig and Hannigan with homers in the 7th. And Brandon Phillips a go-ahead RBI bases loaded walk. Of CC Sabathia.
Interesting to see who closes for the Reds today if they have an opportunity. Some speculation that maybe Aroldis Chapman is going to be pushed into that closer's role.
Sean Marshall going through some tough times. A 5.02 ERA. He's 7 for 8 in save opportunities. Comebacker into center for a base hit. And keep the inning alive for Gordon Beckham.
Keep an eye on Diaz over there at first base now. White Sox don't run a lot, but certainly he's a guy that can steal a base. Has 8 in 12 attempts this year. Beckham picked on an off-speed pitch on the inside part of the plate from Paul Maholm last time up. Hit a long home run of his own to lead off that 4th inning.
Mahalam will check on Deaza. Two and one. Mahalam normally works fast, but really has slowed down here the last couple of innings after giving up 3 home runs. Red Sox went back to back in the 4th. Beckham and Dunn. Flowers with the longest homer of the day here in this inning is Beckham on a jam shot pop up. Will foul out to Ian Stewart. That'll end the inning. But it's now 3-0 White Sox in the middle of the 5th.
Absolutely.
Random biographical note on Bob Brenly from our Dave Kaplan. 1 strike on Coyhill, who was playing at Double-A in the Reds chain when he got the call that he'd been traded for the Cubs for a cash consideration. But the spring training with St. Louis was released in late March. And grounds to Adam Dunn for the out. Well, you mentioned the Reds situation. Sean Marshall's in the game in the bottom of the 8th, with the Reds leading 3-2. So unless he goes 2 today, looks like he's setting up for Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, I think the one thing that kept the Reds from making that move sooner was the fact that Chapman struggled to consistently throw strikes. He used to walk a lot of guys, get himself into trouble, fall behind in counts, but his command has been pretty good for the most part this year. 23 1/3 innings going into play today. I believe he's walked 8 batters.
7 actually.
7 batters.
Yeah.
Okay.
38 strikeouts, 7 walks. Pretty good. And no home runs.
Yeah.
And no earned runs.
Jeez, that was a tough decision.
Right. Well, and you know, Sean will, without argument or controversy, move to the 8th inning where he was just devastating with the Cubs as Cardenas, or rather Mahalam strikes out, and it'll bring up De Jesus with 2 outs. Jesus giving his pitcher a little extra time to get back to the dugout. And a strike on the outside. Peavy starting to feel it here. He lost his command a bit in the 4th inning, but was able to manage the inning, as we talk about. Eventually got Cardenas on a pop out with the bases loaded. Works with a 3-0 lead, and Adam Dunn with the pick, the flip, and the out. Very quick 1-2-3. As DeJesus and Dunn, I think we're having a little chat. I think it was a very friendly one. David saying, "Come on, Adam." 3-0.
Where you'll find the seats you want and the freedom to choose where you want to sit. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago Cubs. For more information, visit Cubs.com/StubHub.
As we mentioned going to break, looked like a little friendly exchange between DeJesus and Dunn. I guess and David said, "Come on, Adam, you don't think you can beat me to the bag in a foot race?" Diving stop, Cardenas, throw to first, they get him. From shallow right, that goes 4-3.
I mean, look how deeply Cardenas is playing, and he still has to leave his feet to get this smash. That ball was headed for a base hit into right field. Tremendous defensive play to take away a base hit. Usually you play that far away from the hitter, you have time to take a few steps and react to a ground ball. But that time Cardenas had to dive even though he was way out there in right field.
Ciedo gets it past a diving Castro and into left center for a 1-out single. Here comes Alexei Ramirez.
Well, and you were mentioning with Alexei Ramirez how far up in the batter's box he stands. And by that I mean closer to the pitcher, but how close he is to that inside corner of the plate as well. The book on him is to pound him inside, especially the first at bat of a series, first at bat of a game. Really make him aware inside, force him to speed up his bat to get to those inside fastballs, and then he becomes susceptible to pitches out over the plate and down.
He was a White Sox opening day center fielder in 2008. He finished second in the American League Rookie of the Year balloting. Eventually settled in at second base. Every day it's short. Out in front of that curveball at 69 miles an hour. 1-2.
Well, Ramirez has turned into a pretty good shortstop for the White Sox too, Len. He's only made 4 errors this season, has a cannon for a throwing arm. If there is one criticism of his defensive game, it's the fact he doesn't like to hang in there at second base too much. Likes to avoid the sliding runners, doesn't like contact.
Campana coming in. Check out the new Audi Legends Suite on the new Bean Investment Suite level. Watch the game with a former Cub and listen to classic stories about life as a Cub. With a luxury food and beverage package and a unique gift for each guest, the Audi Legends Suite is the most exclusive way to watch a Cubs game. For more information, visit Cubs.com/suites. Ball 1 on Kosuke. Alex Rios out of the lineup today. That's fair. And they will get the out. Little left side soreness for Rios. Fukudome 1 for 3, and his team leading his former club 3-0.
By AT Uverse. Coming up tonight at 6:30, we'll have a complete recap of today's BP Crosstown Cup. Also, locker room reaction from both clubhouses. Join Mark Shanowski for Sportsnet Central, presented by AT Uverse, tonight at 6:30, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Hot foul on the bunt attempt by Campana. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Stay tuned later. Our Captain Morgan 7th inning stretch. Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins will conduct Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Peavy winds and fires, and he strikes out Campana. I'm just talking to some guys around the batting cage today, Bob. It just seems like this offense is getting to the point where it's trying too much, pressing. An aggressive lineup as it is for the most part. We talk so much about what trying really means, and when you start to really press and try to hit your way out of a slump, hit a grand slam with nobody on base, that sort of thing, it usually doesn't work out in this game. Do everything you can to prepare, but boy, relaxing, being in that zone where you don't think too much is where most guys want to be.
There's a saying around the clubhouses, don't think too much, you're killing the ball club. This is a game that's made for reactions. You see a pitch, if it's in the strike zone, you put a good swing on it. If it's not, you take it for a ball.
That was a good swing, but he hit it too far. Lines out.
We got something a little interesting here, Len. This is Adrian Cardenas, rather. When Adam Dunn was at the plate, look how far behind the normal second base position he is. The screen at the bottom, this is Gordon Beckham and where he is playing with Tony Campana at the plate. There's probably a good 100-foot difference in the depth that the second baseman were playing on the two different hitters. Of course, you don't worry about Adam Dunn bunting, and you don't worry about Tony Campana hitting home runs. So in each case, you would say that the second baseman was positioned properly, even though that was a pretty wide gap.
You've got a little new gadget over there.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out here, but yeah, got a new toy. See, right there's Brian LaHare.
Jake Peavy's ear. Yeah.
He's going to try to throw the ball that direction.
0-2. And the Cubs first baseman. Fouled back. What else you got on there? You got the circle.
We got the highlighted circle. If you just want to see Tyler Flowers behind the plate, we can do that. We've got the basic stretchy arrow for Brian LaHare, who will run that direction after he hits the ball.
Very nice. The third base umpire, Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief, telling Jake Peavy, make sure you wipe after you go to your mouth.
Now, on a day where your teeth are sweating, you wouldn't want to have any extra moisture on your fingers, would you? All you have to do is run your hand over your other arm or the back of your neck.
How do you rate sweat versus saliva in terms of the baseball?
Now, there is a marked difference. I don't want to get into viscosity of various body fluids, but saliva will give you the, what do you want to call it? Almost a film-like feeling between your fingers in the baseball, causing it to kind of squirt off your fingertips rather than have the ball spin backwards off your fingertips like it normally would. That's the idea of a spitball. Now, because of the salt in the perspiration, I'm assuming that's what it is, you don't get that same slipperiness on your fingertips.
You've created two new stats. This one is the BFV, the body fluid viscosity factor.
Oh, jeez. Well, there's a place for just about every stat you can imagine in the game of baseball, so we might as well invent some. You know, Len, looking back at Friday night's game, or rather Friday afternoon's game, when Jeff Samardzija hit Paul Konerko and then Philip Umber threw behind Brian LaHare. I mean, think about it. If you're Brian LaHare, what did I do? Just minding my own business, trying to make a living, playing first base. I keep my mouth shut. I take my at-bats. But he was the selected target of the White Sox pitcher that particular night. Threw the ball behind Brian LaHare. Talk about an innocent victim.
I think he minded getting thrown at, but not high up near the head. Swings and misses. That's his 7th strikeout for Jake Peavy as the White Sox lead 3-0 after 6. Of the Chicago Cubs. Fine Line gives you insider access to all your favorite Cubs from the past, present, and future. Subscriptions begin at $29.95. For more info and to order, go to Cubs.com/Fine Line. We get into the 7th. Still 3-0. For all you baseball fans out there, if you want to get on one of our telecasts next year or on the south side, just make sure one of you's got a Sox cap and the other has a Cubs hat on or shirt, and good chance you'll make it. And make sure you get along too. We like that. As Flowers sends it out into deep right. DeJesus back, going to play it off the base of the wall. Flowers with a homer and a double in the game today.
Well, the wind has calmed down a little bit since the beginning of the ball game. Flowers does a nice job of extending his swing on that big loopy breaking ball out over the plate. Hits right at the base of the fence near the 368 mark for a leadoff double here in the 7th.
Sean Camp is up in the Cubs bullpen. The other An insider's perspective on pitching on a day like this at Wrigley Field from Fergie Jenkins coming up. He was one of the rare guys where I don't think a day like this bothered him at all. Just make your pitches and go all 9. Long look by Mahalo. And the pitch. Base hit right field. Flowers waited an extra couple of seconds. Make sure that one got through. First and third with no outs, and Peavy looking into his own dugout. We'll see what Robin Ventura has in mind.
Inside out swing, carves that ball over to the right side. Tyler Flowers did not realize that Adrian Cardenas had been jockeying him back to the bag at second, leaving that hole wide open between first and second, but he plays it on the safe side to make sure it gets through.
Joe McEwing, the third base coach, chatting with Peavy. Peavy without a sack bunt since 2009. And he won't get one here. Backhanded by Castro. They get one. That's it. And Peavy will pick up an RBI on the fielder's choice. 27th career RBI and his first since 08 as a Padre. 4-0. He's had a couple of really good at bats. A line out to left, and this hard hit ground ball.
Yeah, very well placed ground ball also, Len, chasing Castro over into that hole between third and short. Just had to take too many steps to get to it to turn that double play. Brett Lillibridge going in hard at second base to make sure Cardenas could not relay on to first.
Outside to De Aza. Lance Berkman's going to the DL with a right knee injury just after returning after that strained calf. Cardinals are in LA tonight. Another base hit. De Aza out in the right center. And Peavy will end up at third. Everything else is interleague action. And Justin Verlander 2 nights ago had a no-hitter in the ninth, broken up by Josh Harrison, the former Cub farmhand. We talked about Konerko. Hopefully will be back in the lineup for the White Sox Tuesday, and the Reds looking to go 3-2 in New York. That's it for Paul Mahalo. A Honda call to the pen. Here comes Sean Camp in the 7th. Stand against the Padres May 28th through the 30th. That starts on Memorial Day. To purchase tickets, go to Cubs.com. Call 1-800-THE-CUBS or visit the Wrigley Field box office. And the Honda call to the pen. We see busy right-hander Sean Camp.
20th game of the season for Sean. Total of 22 innings in his previous 19 appearances. Going to get that ground ball right here off the bat of Gordon Beckham, possibly get a double play and get out of this jam.
Beckham is 1 for 3 with his second homer in this series. De Aza takes off. Beckham skies into right. De Jesus trying to battle that sun, make the catch. Here comes his throw toward the plate. LaHare will cut it off. Peavy scores standing 5-0.
I don't know, maybe I'm just optimistic and hopeful, but that throw looked like it was right on line. David had to really wait as that wind pushed the ball out there. Couldn't get as much on it as he wanted, but you got to know who your runners are. Jake Peavy, not a fast runner, laboring down that third baseline. Looked like that throw was on line and would have beaten Peavy to the plate.
So Beckham gets his second RBI today. Slight change in the shift here with a runner at first. Castro has to stay on the dirt. Cardenas in shallow right as he normally is, at least today against Dunn. But Stewart's got to be ready to go cover third with Castro at second.
With this particular alignment, should De Aza break for second base, I would assume Starlin has coverage at second on the steal attempt, but at the same time Ian Stewart has to run and cover third base, so De Aza just doesn't round the bag at second and keep going to the unoccupied base.
Sure, that's what they were talking about. Outside, 3-0. And yeah, that is awkward, Bob, because ideally you would want a guy from the other side of second to cover the bag because of the way Dunn pulls the ball.
Right.
The astute base runner here would realize you just keep on going. That has happened before. I think one of Dunn's teammates did that when he was with the Reds. I want to say Brandon Phillips once stole second and third on the same play.
I think you're absolutely right.
And he walks. Now they'll overshift the other way with Cardenas on the shortstop side. Sudden Camp can't find the plate. Six consecutive balls from Sean Camp. This is a swinging strike, 2-1.
Comeback sinker on that outside corner of the plate. Started it over near that left-handed batter's box. Got just enough tailing action to get it back on the corner. Should have him set up for a slider in that same location.
Off the end of the bat, popped into left. Soriano circling, and he has it. Timeout for the captain Morgan. 7th inning stretch with Fergie.
Conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Cubs Hall of Fame pitcher Fergie Jenkins.
How you doing, fans? Fans, White Sox and Cubs, let's go. 1, 2, 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks, and I don't care if I ever get back, for it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Come on, guys, let's get some more hits. Let's score some runs. Let's go.
And Fergie, I know there were many a day you came into the ballpark. And it would be 85 to 90, 91 today, and the wind blowing straight out. What did you think on days like this as a pitcher?
Got to jam the hitter. Got to make him do some of the work. I was aggressive out there all the time, but the biggest thing is I try to keep the ball in the ballpark. And I gave up a few home runs, but unfortunately that's the case today, giving up a couple of solo home runs.
Jake Peavy with pitch number 95 of the day. He's only allowed 2 hits.
Fergie, I want to ask you about the other side of the game. We just saw Jake Peavy get on base in that last inning. He had to bust it down the first base line to beat a potential double play. Then he went first to third on a base hit, had to tag up and sprint down the third base line. At this point of a ball game on a day like this, how much would that take out of you as a pitcher?
Not much, because I was generally in pretty good shape. I used to run always between starts, but I mean the taxing part of it, running the bases, you can take a breather, at third. But biggest thing is, I just think that how many steps does it take? 15 steps to get to first base. So I just think that if you're in good shape, shouldn't be a problem.
Soriano with a leadoff single here in the 7th.
I was hoping you'd say Jake Peavy's going to be real tired and start hanging some pitches.
Well, he just gave up a base hit. He just hung a pitch right there.
Yeah, you're right.
So let's hope we can put about 4 or 5 hits together. But if you don't take enough time to take a breather after you're stressful on the bases, sure. But I think he's a veteran, so he should know what to do. but it'd be nice to put 4 or 5 hits together.
Yeah, real quick.
Get into the bullpen.
It is the kind of day where if you just get a couple guys on, one swing, you're right back in.
That's it. Yeah, a walk, a long ball. Hey, who knows?
And that wind slowed down for a couple innings, but it's picked up again and is really howling.
You can dry a lot of clothes on the center field flags right now, believe me.
Outside, 2-0 the count.
See, this is the case of not throwing strikes. Got to make the guys behind you work too. And if you walk somebody now, you get the Cubs an opportunity to maybe get back in the game, especially with a long ball. Well,
right field, he just didn't get it. Fukudome makes a grab for the out. Fergie, you've got an energy drink.
Yes, we have. Yep.
Tell us about it.
I got a drink that we put together a year ago. It's called a Fastball. Hall of Fame Holdings has it in Arizona, and it's distributed in Arizona. It's going to be here in Jules, I think, within the next couple of weeks. Louis Gonzalez just got his drink, which is MVP, and mine is called Fastball.
Fastball. We will definitely look for that as Jake Peavy is out. It's a Honda call to the pen. Hard throwing lefty Matt Thornton is on. We'll be back here at Wrigley. Veteran left-hander Matt Thornton is on. Adrian Cardenas was due up, and he will not take the at-bat. It'll be Darwin Barney instead. We're chatting with Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins. Fergie, what a moment on Friday. Kerry Wood came on, threw 3 pitches, struck out Diane Bicicleta, walked off to an ovation, got a hug from his son Justin. It was a pretty magical moment here at the ballpark.
Yeah, I seen the replay of it on the TV, and I mean, it's unfortunate. Kerry just hasn't fulfilled what his ability was all about. On the DL that many times in 15 years, and lost a lot of playing time, a lot of games, and he had a great arm. It's just couldn't stay healthy.
He battled through a lot of arm trouble, starting with Tommy John surgery after his Rookie of the Year season. From Texas, and you pitched for the Rangers, and we talk about hot days here at Wrigley, but I mean, Arlington Stadium. Come on.
This is summer day in Canada.
That's right.
Compared to Arlington. I started games when it was 105. And I'd use one shirt. But I mean, you just got to stay cool. Stay in a part of the dugout where it's cool. Put ice bags on your wrist and on your back and your neck. And just think about being cool.
1-2 on Darwin Barney. We may have to borrow that one there, Bob. A big super duper fan. Might blow us out of the booth, but we'd be cool. In the hands of Barney and fouled off.
Yeah, the biggest thing right now, I mean, you need a couple of base hits. Just get the crowd back in the game, and that could be a possibility that could motivate a few of the other guys that are coming up to the plate. A base hit right now would sure activate the crowd a little bit.
Late swing by Barney, and he fouls it off. Your former teammate, great friend, Ron Santo, posthumously go into the Hall of Fame in July. About time, huh?
I think it's outstanding. I mean, there should be a lot of Cub fans there in Cooperstown, myself included, Billy and Ernie, quite a few other Cub players. I mean, it just happened too late. I mean, great ball player, teammate of mine for 8 years. I mean, the guy that you always knew was on that left side of the infield for you. I mean, he was phenomenal.
Fairly deep center, but De Aza will get to the spot and make the catch. And Soriano back to first. 2 outs. You were always very involved in the community with the Fergie Jenkins Foundation, Inc. Anything going on this summer in particular?
Well, I'm going to probably do a couple of fantasy camps, one in Texas and also one in Columbus, Ohio, and we'll feature a lot of other retired players. And I mean, some of our charitable organizations, Juvenile Diabetes, one because of Ronnie, and I'll do some golf outings similar, breast cancer, Make-A-Wish, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Boys and Girls, and I mean just to stay active doing a couple of these charitable organizations, I think is really outstanding.
And Ramirez kind of waved at that ball, and Hill has himself a hit. So the Cubs have 2 base runners, and we'll get a pinch hitter, Jeff Baker.
Kind of a half-hearted effort that time by Ramirez at shortstop. A little broken bat floater. Maybe Ramirez was confused whether to try to catch it in the air or play back and short hop it, but he got caught in the middle and didn't do either one. That ball scoots under his glove for a base hit for Coy Hill.
Fergie, I want to ask you about the shifts you saw in the top of the 7th from our vantage point, what the Cubs were doing against Dunn and Viciedo. How much shifting happened when you pitched, and did you ever talk to your infielders about playing certain guys in certain spots?
You know, I can't recall. Some of the big hitters, Dick Allen for one, and McCovey, Jim Gentile, Willie Stargell. I can't recall the Cubs ever putting a shift on for those guys, but you know, that's a long time ago. But you know, I always tried to pitch hard in to make the hitter work and then go away, backdoor him a lot of times with maybe a slider or an off-speed changeup. But the shift, I think it all started with Ted Williams, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Sure.
And then some of the other, you know, predominant left-handed hitters. But in my era, guys played deep enough that they could make that play. I know Tito Fuentes with San Francisco, he used to play. He was the first guy I ever seen play on the grass. But a guy like Stargell and a few of those other big left-handers Fairley would play, he'd be way out in the grass, even though the shift wasn't on.
That's a strike, and it's 2-1. And now you're seeing more teams shift against right-handed pulled hitters. Used to be reserved for just the lefties.
Yeah, I just think it does help, especially if you're medium in the outfield and you can get that 1 or 2 hopper and make a good throw to first base. Like, hey, gets you out of an inning.
Well, one of the guys in terms of examples is Corey Hart of the Brewers. Last year hit less than, you know, like 2 or 3 ground balls to the right side of the infield. If you are armed with that data, why would you play half your infield on that side of the field, right?
Definitely, yeah.
And it also helps, and we've talked about this, to have a pitcher to put the ball where he wants to make the hitter hit the ball into the defense.
Yeah, it defeats the pitcher's purpose if he's trying to pitch a certain way.
Well, that's the end of the inning. The Cubs strand 2, but Fergie, always a pleasure to chat with you.
Thank
and
you.
We'll see, I'm sure, many more times this summer.
Definitely.
Thanks, Fergie.
See you this summer and probably Cooperstown.
You got it.
All right.
Left-hander Casey Coleman is now in the pitch. Always great to chat with Fergie Jenkins, a Hall of Famer, as Coleman worked last night a scoreless ninth. Well, the great thing about Fergie is that you ask him, you get tired late in the game running the bases, and he says it with confidence, no cockiness, just matter of fact. No, I ran, I was in shape. It shouldn't be that hard to run the bases. Expecting him to say, oh yeah, it's going to take a lot out of you. No, not really.
Didn't take anything out of him.
No.
He's a great athlete.
Oh, no question. Hit the ball out of the ballpark as well. Jesse Crane up in the White Sox bullpen. Awkward landing there by Coleman.
That happened to him once in the ball game last night also. I thought we were going to see another Cubs pitcher head to the disabled list as he stumbled off the mound, but he said he just caught a cleat.
Backed up Castro, and he still has time to get Ramirez.
And for our Home Depot doing more on defense, Coy Hill just up from Double-A, purchased from the Cincinnati Reds. Nice barehanded play down at third baseline, just in time to get Kosuke.
Changeup missed low. 2-0 on Fukudome. It's a final. The Reds beat the Yankees 5-2. Aroldis Chapman did come in to pitch the ninth, and he got the save. And it's the second of his career. Had one last year. So the Reds take 2 of 3 from the Yankees and go 3-2 in New York. Kosuke couldn't hold up. That's a strikeout. 2 down. Well, fortunately for Paul Konerko, no fractures or anything like that. Just a lot of swelling under the left eye. So whenever he can see again out of that left eye, he can get back in the lineup. And the Sox are hoping that is Tuesday against Minnesota. I think what happened there, Bob, because it was off speed, he was thinking slider, and it was a splitter, so it didn't break. So maybe a little bit of a late movement to get out of the way as Lahair makes a catch, and the inning comes to an end. Coleman with a quick 1-2-3, 5-0 White Sox. David DeJesus and the top of the order against Matt Thornton here in the bottom of the 8th. And just to follow up on the Konerko and Samardzija incident the other day, Mark Gonzalez from the Tribune quoting Konerko yesterday. When it came out of his hand, I was staying in there holding my ground. I figured it was going to be one of those 2 pitches. Talking about a cutter or a slider. And then instead of going either straight down or down and away, it just stayed high and unraveled into me. That makes sense, doesn't it?
It does. I mean,
good pitch recognition, from Paulie, no question.
Saw the ball come out of Samardzija's hand and anticipated what it was going to do, and unfortunately, it didn't do what he was expecting it to.
One of the rare cases where he misidentified it. And that's the result. And I will say this, later in the game, Samardzija threw another pitch, but it was against a left-handed batter, and it ended up in the same spot. Just the splitter went up and away from a lefty, and then be up and in on a righty.
I mean, other than the knuckleball, the split-fingered fastball is the most unpredictable pitch a guy could throw. Occasionally, depending on finger pressure, you get a little more pressure on your index finger than your middle finger. It will cause it to react one way. If you get a little more pressure with your middle finger instead of your index, it'll go the other way. If you get your thumb too involved with the pitch, it will do something else. I've seen split fingers do exactly what the one did that hit Konerko many times. Ideally, when thrown properly, the pitch comes in, looks like a fastball, and has some downward movement. As it gets near the hitting zone is where the most movement is, but occasionally it will flutter and take off and like a sailing fastball almost. I don't know. Thank goodness it was a splitter and not a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Thornton's 3-2. He's fouled back.
And because it is Paul Konerko's lead eye, the left eye that's closest to the mound, you definitely want to make sure he has 100% vision and has no issues moving forward before you let him get back out there and face live pitching again.
Braves shut out the Tampa Bay Rays today, 2-0. The final. Tim Hudson got the win. 7 2/3, 4 hits. Craig Kimbrell got his 13th save. Rafael Dolis, the Cubs' current closer, is going to get some work in the ninth. And struck him out. Visit the official online shop of the Chicago Cubs at Cubs.com. Browse the largest online selection of authentic team gear, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the Cubs.com shop. Paid crowd today, 38,374 on this blistering hot Sunday. And he decided to wear his hat. Well, it's just one of those days. We thought we were going to see some home runs, and we have 3 of them from the White Sox, but the Cubs have 4 hits and have been shut out. You just have to score in bunches on days like this.
I mean, we haven't seen even a lot of loud contact from the Cubs offensively today. A lot of chasing of bad pitches. Once again, a lot of weak contact, balls put into play that were easily defended.
Campana draws the 1-out walk. Josh Beckett outdueled Cliff Lee today. Boston beat the Phillies 5-1. Beckett went into the 8th. Gave up just 1 run. Lee charged with 5 runs in 7 innings. He's 0-2. On to call to the pen. It's right-hander Jesse Crain with 1 on, 1 out in the Cubs 8th.
Sportsnet. Tune in as Dan talks sports with your favorite athletes, celebrities, and sports media personalities. Get your sports day started with the Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 8 to 11 on Comcast Sportsnet.
A Honda call to the pen brings on right-hander Jesse Crain. On the disabled list recently with a sprained left oblique. 2 scoreless appearances since coming back.
He's given up nothing to the right-handed hitters. A good fastball and a slider that he will throw a lot.
Comes in with Castro at the plate, Campana at first, and the White Sox leading 5-0. Crain worked in both games at the Angels earlier this week. The wind has not died down really for a minute all day, and I think right now it may be blowing harder than it has all afternoon. We often judge the wind by the sound of the flags. We sit here just below the roof. We can hear those flags whistling in the wind. Not the ones in center, but the ones on the roof above us.
Now, during batting practice, before the fans are in the stands, we can occasionally hear the ones in center field, but we can really hear the ones right above us on the roof.
Tony trying to get a good lead over there, cannot get picked off in this spot. These division championship flags right above our broadcast position. Swing and a miss. 1-2. got him on the high heat. Crane throwing hard, 95 miles an hour.
They just continue to go up that ladder. Fastball up above the top of the strike zone. When you throw that four-seamer in the mid to upper 90s, it seems like it has a little extra hop as it gets into that hitting area. Of course, it doesn't. It holds its line all the way to the catcher's glove. But as a hitter standing in the batter's box, that high four-seamer at 95 looks like it jumps right over your bat.
Campana will take off. Sox not concerned about him. He will not be given a stolen base, even though he just stole second.
Yeah, I still don't get that. Pitcher's pitching out of a stretch. They're holding him on at first. The shortstop broke to cover the bag at second, but he still doesn't get a stolen base. I think the runner should get a stolen base, but I don't think the catcher should be penalized. I don't know how you do that, but we've changed a lot of other things in the scoring of this game. Has to be a remedy for punishing a catcher for a stolen base when he didn't even get a chance to make a throw.
Three 3-0 to LaHare with Soriano on deck. Steven Strasburg hit a home run today, had 8 strikeouts in 5 innings. 9-3, the Nationals beat the Orioles. Ball 4. So he can hit 2?
Apparently so. I don't recall the same kind of buzz about his hitting coming out of college at San Diego State University. A lot of times pitchers come to the major leagues. Mike Owings jumps to mind with just as big a reputation as a hitter in high school or college. I don't recall that about Strasburg.
So that ended the Orioles' 5-game winning streak.
These do. Get one up in the air.
Max Scherzer had 15 strikeouts as the Tigers beat the Pirates 4-3. Most strikeouts for a Tiger pitcher since Mickey Lolich had 15 punch-outs in 1972. Club record is 16. Lolich in 69. You believe Verlander hasn't struck out 15 yet? That's next on the list.
Yeah, probably.
Seeking for a long ball here. 3-1. Stewart on deck.
Get on this fastball. Yeah, one thing the Sox have an abundance of is power arms out of that bullpen. It seems like every guy they trot out there throws in the mid to upper 90s with his heater. Ain't no exception.
Runners go on the 3-2, and the bases are loaded on 3 walks in this inning. One by Thornton, and then back-to-back 2-out walks, and here comes Don Cooper, the pitching coach, to tell Jesse Crain to throw strikes.
Well, we laugh about it, but the reality is that's probably the gist of his statement here. We got a 5-run lead in the ball game. The worst thing you can do is put guys on base, and you make one mistake, and suddenly Cubs are right back into this ball game. Of course, watch where you throw your strikes now. Don't just lay it down the middle. Put it on the corners. Do the things you got to do. Seems like Crane has been trying to throw a lot of that high four-seam fastballs across the top of the zone, and the Cubs have been disciplined enough for the most part to lay off.
Addison Reed, the closer, up in the White Sox pen. Three on, two down. Cubs left them loaded back in the fourth inning, and ball one to Stewart. Jammed that time and fouled it away. Campana, the lead man at third, LaHare at second, Soriano at first. Cubs trailing 5-0 in the eighth. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Green ready. There it comes. They'll do it again.
And a good rip at that breaking ball. That one stayed over the middle of the plate and down right where Ian Stewart likes it. He just fouled it straight back. Read that ball really quickly out of Jesse Crane's hand. I don't see another breaking ball in the strike zone.
According to Jeff Kellogg at third. And the Cubs leave the bases loaded for the second time today. You be the judge. And David Kaplan and Todd Hollinsworth break down round 1 of the BP Crosstown Cup and preview the Cubs' next matchup. Don't miss Horseshoe Casino Cubs post-game live immediately following the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Joe Mather into play third. He'll hit 9th in the Cubs order. Right-hander Rafael Dolis with his team trailing 5-0. Pitch here in the 9th. Cubs have been outscored 15-6 in this series. Yes, the only good news, Bob, is the Cubs have saved their offense for generally the 9th inning here lately. But the tall order would have been nice to at least get a couple there in the 8th.
Yeah, make it a little bit easier in the 9th inning. Just take a bite out here and there, try to get yourself back in the ball game. So come the 9th inning, you're in a position to possibly tie or win the ball game without putting up a huge crooked number.
Brent Lillibridge leads it off. And the 8-hitter takes a sinker low and inside. Alex Rios is on deck to bat for Crane. Three and 0. Dolis with a 4-pitch walk. An additional note on Max Scherzer, Bob. He is the second pitcher since 1988 to have 15 or more strikeouts in a game, all of the swinging variety. All the strikeouts were swinging today for the Tiger right-hander, according to stats. Goes, and that'll get down for Rios. And McEwing is sending Lillibridge, and he'll score easily. Throw goes to second. It's a standing double for Rios and a 6-0 White Sox lead.
Rios selected as the pinch hitter because he's a good low ball hitter against the Rafael Dolis sinker, and he promptly whacks one into the left field corner. Lillibridge running on the pitch. I've been a big supporter of Alfonso Soriano this year and his improved defense in left field, but physically it's hard to watch him run in left field and try to stop.
He's going to get another chance here, and he's going to make the catch as De Aza lines out. Yeah, that left knee has been troublesome. In fact, Kerry Wood in his retirement news conference praised Soriano and his work habits and dealing with all the injuries he's had and maintaining a starting position. He really has not complained about his injuries one bit.
Such a difference from what we saw early in the season. Coming out of spring training, he was healthy, his legs were strong, he felt good, he was making tremendous defensive plays on almost a nightly basis. But that knee just has progressively gotten worse and worse, and even though he's willing to go out there and suck it up and continue to play, you just have to wonder at what point does it become a detriment to the team. Didn't help any that he got drilled right above that left knee against the Brewers on that last road trip. Any internal bleeding that you get from the quad muscle is going to go right down into that knee joint, giving you even more issues.
Beckham will have to walk that one off.
Well, you see this often with a power sinker pitcher like Rafael Dolis. That right-handed hitter just catches the top part of the baseball, and because of the angle of the bat, it drives it right down into your own front leg. This time off the arch. You don't see that as often against a four-seam fastball pitcher, but against a sinker baller, you see it all the time.
Rios will hold it second as Castro gets Beckham. 2 outs. Here comes Adam Dunn, who has homered, struck out, walked, and retired 4-3 in a nice play by Adrian Cardenas. Mr. 3 true outcomes guy has been just that in this series. Cubs' next opponent, the Houston Astros, and they lost 2 of 3 to Texas this weekend. 6-1 the final today. Colby Lewis beat Jordan Lyles. Rangers now 10 games over 500, comfortably leading the American League West. Best record in baseball right now belongs to the Dodgers, 27-13. Including 18-4 at home. Kick, the 3-1 pitch, and Dunn went around. You bet he did. If Ian Stewart swung at it, Adam Dunn did.
Good for the goose, good for the gander. On first look, I thought they both checked. Yeah, well, about the same. That's getaway day for the umpires, too.
And he went that time. Eric Cooper didn't need to ask Jeff Kellogg. So they get 1, and we go to the last of the ninth. It's 6-0 White Sox. And our GMC player of the game is White Sox starter Jake Peavy. As Bob mentioned early on, had that one bad start against Detroit his last time out, but other than that has been really good all year.
And offensively drove in a run with a fielder's choice ground out, which is really all he needed today.
Here's rookie Addison Reed in a non-save situation.
Another one of the power arms out of that White Sox bullpen. Addison Reed's average fastball sits right around 95 miles per hour. Also throws a hard slider. Does have a changeup, but rarely uses it or needs it.
He's not allowed a home run in 16 appearances, covering over 12 innings. Oh, we talked about the Cubs being banged up. Hopefully getting a little healthier here over the next couple of weeks. Steve Clevenger and Carlos Marmol tomorrow will head to Iowa for a rehab assignment. Wellington Castillo will be reevaluated in Houston and hopefully will not have to go to the DL. Cubs are looking at that knee injury as a 4 to 7 day situation. 1-1 on Darwin Barney. Reed was born in Montclair, California, went to San Diego State, and a drive out into deep left is caught on the warning track by Viciedo. He grew up rooting for the Angels, admiring guys like K-Rod and Troy Percival. And here he is as a White Sox closer. He went into this season as their #1 prospect, according to Baseball America. His 4th save of the year on Friday. Coy Hill fouls off. Two on Coy Hill. And Tyler Flowers be asking for a new glove. Yeah.
Yep.
One of his 9th inning mitt.
Well, those 95+ mile per hour fastballs might have blown one right through the webbing of his old glove. So he's a backup ready to go.
The early birds are here. Just missed the inside.
Boy gets new life. Cooper strike zone only as big as North America today. That ball appeared to be all over the inside corner at 95.
On the ground behind first. Done for the second out. It's up to Joe Mather, who hit a 2-run homer in the 9th last night as the Cubs scored 4 times, but went into that inning down 7-0. This would be the White Sox 4th sweep of the Cubs. Check that, their 3rd, and here's Mather from last night.
Unfortunately, too little, too late, but a nice piece of hitting nonetheless by Joe Mather on a breaking ball down and in. Just golfed it out of here to left field.
Right-hander Zach Stewart. Cubs with 2 sweeps all time against the White Sox. The Sox have 2 as well. This would be their 3rd. And first at Wrigley since 1999. Left field, Viciedo looks back, and it's going to be off the wall. So Mather keeps the Cubs alive with a 2-out double.
Mather now 3 for 10 as a pinch hitter on the season. All over a 93-mile-an-hour heater on that inside corner. Bangs it off the vines out there. Right to Viciedo. Let's get on the board here. Let's get on the board.
David DeJesus fouls back. Cubs in danger of dropping all 5 games on this homestand. It will be their 6th consecutive loss overall. Here's Reed's 0-1. With the final strike now, 0-2. Great work by our entire CSN crew today. Our producer Todd Benjaminson, our director Dave Turner, our associate producer Tamara Anderson, Paula Ostroba, our stage manager in the booth, executive producer of Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, Jim Corno Jr. To DeJesus, fly ball right field. Fukudome has it, and the White Sox win and take all 3 in this series. Didn't think we'd see a shutout on a day in which the wind was howling straight out to center. The White Sox took advantage, hitting 3 home runs. The Cubs could not dent Jake Peavy and company.
Yeah, you really have to give a lot of credit to the White Sox pitching staff today. They just made very few mistakes in locations where the Cubs could elevate the ball. Very few mistakes where they could even hit the ball hard. Just an outstanding pitch ball game by the White Sox.
So they take a 3-0 series lead. These 2 teams will meet up on the south side in about a month. So for Bob Brenly and our entire CSN crew, Len Casper saying so long from Wrigley Field. The final score today, the White Sox 6, the Cubs nothing. Bob and I are back with you tomorrow night at 7 from Houston. First of a 3-game series. Stay tuned. Coming up next, Cubs post-game live with Cap and Holly. In-game scoring provided by ScorePad. You've been watching Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, now part of the NBC Sports Group.